Good afternoon, folks. This is Brother Allen with Bible Commentary for Thinking Christians. We are studying the book of Daniel, and today I will present part 3. But it is the background that I am presenting in these first parts so that when we get to the book of Daniel, we understand what Daniel is talking about. Now, on part 2, I ended up with Joseph being in Egypt because his brothers sold him there, and Joseph arose to a very high position. And a famine come up on the land, so Jacob sent his sons to Egypt to visit with Joseph, and Joseph ended up bringing all the household of Jacob and his 12 sons and all of their families down into Egypt. So Joseph and his father and their 12 brothers, they are in the land of Egypt. And they prosper. And they grow. And they multiply and they multiply to the point where the Egyptians became afraid of them. So I'm just going to read in the Bible today, and if you have your Bibles, turn to the book of Exodus, and we will begin reading there. And Joseph died, and all of his brethren, and all that generation. And the children of Israel were fruitful, and increased abundantly, and multiplied, and waxed exceedingly mighty, and the land of Egypt was filled with the house of Jacob. Now, there arose up a new king over Egypt, who knew not Joseph or Jacob. And he said unto his people, Behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we are. Come, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land. Therefore, they did set over them, that's Israel, taskmasters, to afflict them with their burdens, and they built for Pharaoh treasures, cities, Pithom and Ramses. And the more they afflicted Israel, the more they multiplied and grew. And they were grieved because of the children of Israel. And the Egyptians made the children of Israel serve with rigor, and they made their lives bitter and hard bondage, and in mortar and brick, and in all manner of service in the field. All their service wherein they made them serve with rigor. And the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives, of which the name of the one was Shiphrah, and the name of the other Puah. And he said, when you do the office of a midwife, in other words, when you are delivering children of the Hebrew women, see upon their stews, if it be a son, then shall you kill him, and if it be a daughter, then she shall live. But the midwives feared God, and did not as the king of Egypt commanded them, but saved the men of the children alive. And the king of Egypt called for the midwives, and said unto them, Why have you done this thing, and have saved the men children alive? And the midwives said unto Pharaoh, Because the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian women, for they are lively, and are delivered ere the men lies before we come unto them. Therefore God dwelt well with the midwives, and the people multiplied again and waxed greatly. And Pharaoh charged all his people, saying, Every son that is born you shall cast into the river, and every daughter you shall save alive. So here we see that the house of Jacob has multiplied greatly, millions upon millions. And they have a new king. And this king is grieved with so many Egyptians being born, Israelites being born in Egypt. They were outnumbered, far outnumbered, and it scared them to death. But let's go on now and read in chapter 2 how that God heard their groanings and brought Moses upon the scene. This is Exodus chapter 2. And there went a man of the house of Levi and took a daughter of Levi. And the woman conceived and bare a son, and when they saw that he was a goodly child, she hid him 3 months. And when she could no longer hide him, she took for him an ark of bulrushes, and daubed it with slime and with pitch, and put the child therein, and she laid it in the flags by the river's drink. And his sister stood afar off, to wit what would be done to him. And the daughter of Pharaoh came down to wash herself at the river, and her maidens walked along by the riverside. And when she saw the ark of the flag, she sent her maid to fetch it. And when she had opened it, she saw the child. And behold, the babe wept. And she had compassion on him, and said, This is one of the Hebrews' children. Then said his sister to Pharaoh's daughter, Shall I go and call to thee a nurse of the Hebrew women, that she may nurse the child for thee? And Pharaoh's daughter said to her, Go. And the maid went and called the child's mother. And the Pharaoh's daughter said unto her, Take this child away, and nurse it for me, and I will give thee wages. And the woman took the child and nursed it. And the child grew. And she brought him unto Pharaoh's daughter, and he became her son. And she called his name Moses. And she said, Because I drew him out of the water. And it came to pass in those days, when Moses was grown, that he went out unto his brethren, and looked on their burdens, and he spied an Egyptian smiting a Hebrew, one of his brethren. And he looked this way and that way, and when he saw that there was no man, he slew the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. And when he went out but the second day, behold, 2 men of the Hebrews strove together, and he said to him that he did the wrong. Wherefore smitest thou thy fellow? And he said, Who made thee a prince and a judge over us? Intendest thou to kill me, and thou killest the Egyptian? And Moses feared, and said, Surely this thing is known. Now when Pharaoh heard this thing, he sought to slay Moses. But Moses fled from the face of the Pharaoh, and dwelt in the land of Midian, and he sat down by a wall, or a well. Now the priest of Midian had 7 daughters, and they came and drew water, and filled the troughs to water their father's flock. And the shepherds came and drove them away. But Moses stood up and helped them, and watered their flock. And when they came to Ruel, their father, he said, How is it that you are come so soon today? And they said, An Egyptian, Moses, delivered us out of the hand of the shepherds, and also drew water enough for us, and watered the flock. And he said unto his daughters, Where is he? Why is it that ye have left the man? Call him, that he may eat bread. And Moses was content to dwell with the man, and he gave Moses Zipporah, his daughter, and Zipporah bare him a son, and he called his son's name Gershom, for he said, I have been a stranger in a strange land. And it came to pass in process of time that the king of Egypt died, and the children of Israel sighed by reason of the bondage and the slavery they were under, and they cried. And their cry came up unto God by reason of the bondage. And God heard their groaning. And God remembered his covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and with Jacob. And God looked upon the children of Israel, and God had respect for them. I'm going to stop right there for today, folks, because I'm trying to lead you up to the point in time that Moses is born, and he leads the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt to the bottom of Mount Sinai, where God will make a covenant with these descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Joseph, and the 11 brothers of Joseph. Folks, this was not a small gathering that came out of Egypt. It was millions upon millions upon millions of people. And they made a covenant with God. And this is so vitally important. So next time will be part 4, and we'll talk about Moses coming out of the land of Egypt and the people gathering at Mount Sinai, where God came down in the sight of all the people. Until next time, may God bless us all. This is Brother Allen.